You.
Oftentimes, people go into business because they have a brilliant idea that has the potential to generate a lot of money. Or they are promoted into leadership positions because they've been successful as individual contributors to the success of their organizations. In these new chapters of their lives, these people may find that they put in blood, sweat and tears, but still fail to be successful. The business keeps requiring more capital injection, but still does not grow its customer base. The recently promoted leader keeps failing to have a cohesive team to achieve set deliverables. In spite of all the hard work, all the late nights at the office, all the money poured in, there simply is no sign of success. What could have gone wrong? While it goes without saying that hard work does pay off, it has been proven that there is one other key ingredient that can be the difference between ultimate success and failure. This key ingredient, according to an online piece by business writer Michael Lee Starlard, is social intelligence, or the social quotient. In the interest of understanding the details, maybe it would be better to understand what social intelligence is from those who deal with human function quotients on a daily basis. We have, for this discussion, employed the knowledge and opinion of psychotherapist Kutlwano Muthudi.
Social intelligence has been defined by Edward Thorndike as the ability to manage men, women, boys, and girls, as well as the ability to act a certain way in human relations. As you can see from the definition, you have to be able to relate well with the people that exist in the society, regardless of their age, regardless of their gender. And we need to relate in a way that is conducive for everybody. This consists of communication skills. We need to be able to communicate with people regardless of their background, regardless of their gender, regardless of their age, in a way that the individual you're speaking to can understand what you are expressing to them, and can also respond in a way that you can understand. We need to be able to understand the people who we're interacting with. If they're expressing their emotions, we need to understand their emotions, and we need to respond in a way that makes them feel heard, that makes them feel understood, and in a way that doesn't harm them either emotionally or psychologically. Right. So one other characteristic of a social intelligent person is active listening, right? That insists of listening not to respond to what someone is saying, but, listening to really understand, to get the gist of what this person is talking about. If there are any underlying factors, perhaps if the person is being passive aggressive, a socially intelligent person can be able to pinpoint that this individual is being passive aggressive and can respond in a way that does not lead to conflict between the two. Right. So with social intelligence as well, the individual has a good reputation in the society. But the thing about reputation is sometimes our reputations don't really reflect on who we are, but for somebody who is socially intelligent, the reflection is a true reflection of who the person is. So that reputation represents who they are.
How does social intelligence tie in with being a great leader, which, according to our understanding, can lead to, success in business or at work?
Social intelligence is one of the most important characteristics in leadership, because leadership in its own is social in nature, right? So what this means is that when you're a leader, you need to be able to interact in a conducive way with our colleagues, with our staff, with the people around you, right? And as a leader, for example, if you're in an organization, we need to be able to motivate our colleagues. So we need to be able to interact with our colleagues in a way that encourages them or motivates them to align their behavior with the organizational goals. And this is something that is very important for leaders to be able to do. And this can be done through proper communication, communicating what is needed or what is expected of your employees or your colleagues, and be able to encourage and acknowledge the positive things that they're doing, and if there are some things that they may be doing that is unpleasant or that is not aligned with the organizational goals, we need to be able to give what we call constructive criticism. Right? This is to say, how do we pinpoint our staff or our colleagues' weaknesses or unpleasant behaviors in a way that does not degrade them, in a way that does not bring them down, in a way that does not demoralize them, but rather in a way that motivates them to become more productive. So a good leader would be able to make a person feel included in the project. They would make the person feel like they are, contributing something that is important to the group or to the organization. And if somebody was to feel excluded, it would ultimately demoralize them and ultimately reduce their productivity levels, right? So with social intelligence, it's not just about giving to the next person, or it's not just about being able to communicate in a way that the other person can receive positively, but you also, on the other hand, need to be able to receive criticism or to receive certain unpleasant comments or interactions in a positive way, in a way that ultimately would be more conducive for the both of you and for the organization as well. One other aspect about social intelligence is being able to accommodate a lot of people, right? And this is something that is very important when it comes to our businesses. We deal with customers who vary in their backgrounds, who vary in their personalities in so many different ways. So we need to be able to accommodate them. We need to be able to learn how to solve conflict that can arise from interacting with different business partners, with different customers, or with these different personalities. The benefits of social intelligence go beyond our interactions with our friends and our families. It can benefit our businesses in a very long way, and the way that we market our business as well. With social intelligence, we need to be able to understand our market. It helps us understand our market. It helps us understand our target market, as well as how to perhaps cater to their needs, how to communicate with them, and how to solve certain conflicts that may arise with our target market.
In closing, Kutlwano, what are some of the tools that one can employ to better their social intelligence?
The first step would be to know the people around you, in the sense that what motivates you may not necessarily motivate me. There can be a certain way that you can talk to me that you cannot talk to the other person. They may take it offensively, right? So we need to be able to understand the different personalities that we're working with, and to be able to accommodate them and cater to them in terms of our communication and the way that we receive them as well. Sometimes the way that people speak can come out as aggressive or offensive, but we also need to be able to accommodate such personalities. Maybe if you really want to set a boundary with that person, we need to be able to do that in a way that wouldn't ultimately cause some conflict. Okay, so we also need to know what motivates certain people and in what way as well. All right, so what can help in us doing this is the skill called emotional intelligence. With emotional intelligence, we're basically talking about being able to understand your own emotions and being able to express them in a healthy or conducive way, as well as to understand other people's emotions. An example would be if something were to happen at home, right, and you're not able to express yourself fully, and this is something that has really angered you or frustrated you. We need to be able to contain that anger, contain that frustration in a way we won't find ourselves now lashing out at people at work, and we need to be able to communicate properly with other people without now letting that frustration cause conflict or tension between the two. All right. So one other thing is that we need to learn how to be culturally flexible, in the sense that we need to understand that we have people from different backgrounds from us. It's okay to have your own values, it's okay to have your own perspective, but we need to be able to accommodate other people and understand the perspective that they have, as well as to understand where they come from culturally.